Chebukati has outlined in the Daily Nation in terms of the wins and losses. And for Chebukati, the win here being appointment of IEBC lawyers by 4 commissioners led by Vice Chair Juliana Cherera rejected. And a loss in this case, court allowed all commissioners to participate in the proceedings, which means that the divorces in poll body or the divisions in poll body will play out. What do you see there in terms of the interpretation? Is that accurate, win and loss?
I think so. Court went through a detailed ruling that we don't care about your divisions, basically. But however, when it comes to the issue of who's pick for the commission, and the commission lawyer, then they will be Githu Muigai and Gumbo. And so they were able to strike out the lawyer that was brought by the 4 descending judges. But they said, okay, you have been named in the application. You are named. So if you like, you can participate. So they did not strike out their affidavits, and therefore you are right that the issue of their division and their side of story is going to be there, albeit as individuals, not as the commission.
And it is also, what about the loss here? Allowed all commissioners to participate in the proceedings. It's seen as a win here for Ruto. He's been allowed to respond to affidavits that by Attorney General Kihara Kariuki, and appointment of IEBC lawyers by 4 commissioners rejected. How is this a win for Ruto in this particular issue?
Because remember the Attorney General, in fact, the court also noticed that these 4 seem to support the petition. And they parked it there. But the hint was, this is a little strange, because ordinarily we'll expect you to defend IEBC. But we notice it's like you are supporting the petition. But be as it may, again, remember, as fate will have it, the Attorney General is supporting the petition. And therefore, ordinarily, you'll think Attorney General will defend the action of the commission, but it is more or else supporting the commission. So at that point, William Ruto was given a chance now to almost treat him as hostile or the other side, and answer what he provided. Even though I think it was out of time, but it makes sense in the balance of arms. Then, of course, the biggest hint, even though the court appeared fed up with back and forth, and they said, we are not going to get into your internal working mechanism. However, the lawyer for IEBC are these ones. So if you are a party here, you bring your lawyer, you are coming as an individual. And therefore, I think that to me is a win, yes, because it demonstrates whose account of IEBC will matter in terms of commission, albeit the rest will be individual stories. And then, of course, petition to block 6 IEBC commissioner rejected, of course.
That's the flip side of that.
So they are rejected, but they have come as individual, not as the commission. And then the plea for additional time, because remember, according to the theory of case from Ruto's side was, we actually have 8 petition that is supporting or is fighting the win. And therefore, those are 8 lawyers on that side, or 8 teams. Then you need to give me time, equal time for each one. I think that will have stretched it, but equal time for 8. So if you are giving 4 or 1 hour for each one, you give me 1, 1, 1, 1, you give me almost double, triple time. But the court said, no, each side will have 4 hours. Which I think is not so bad. You know, court is not hostile to either side. And to say, you know, a petition by Tuala is seeking dismissal of Raila case, strike out, of course, the courier and all that, plea for additional time, rejected, yes.
Yeah, but and this was also outlined in Taifa Leo in terms of the main issues that they saw coming out of this, but specifically on that issue of time, and it is being seen as unfair, or at least being painted by some as an unfair order in terms of the time, but that might not be the case, kwa sababu hapo wanasema upande wa Ruto wapewa muda wa saa 6 kuwasilisha hoja kotini, huku wapinzani wake wakipewa jumla ya saa 7. So you said it's quite a stretch for them to have expected more time, given the limited period that the Supreme Court has to decide on this issue. But is it necessarily an unfair hand handed to them?
Yeah, what they were saying is each and every petition must be answered sufficiently.
Yes.
And so for each petition, you must give us equal number of lawyers, first of all. Because these generally 8 petitions are towards or against us. So we should be able to answer, and you should count. If there is 3 lawyers in each petition, then you count 3 times 8, and you give us opportunity for 20-something lawyers.
Yes, yes.
But they were told, no, just 4. But in terms of balancing, then we will almost have you have equal time. They should know how to share their time. After all, we have summarized the issue. So they should share their time among themselves. 7 hours, you have 6 hours.
Right.
We feel that we have balanced well. And after all, remember, G, and I was saying, you, the president declared side, you are also kind of supporting or protecting the win with IBC. So you also have an ally in terms of IBCs doing their work, and they're defending their results. Right. And you are also defending your win. So there is a little bit of synergy on that side also.
Right.
Yeah.
But there was also another win in terms of, looking at what the Raila side would consider a win, and that is the access to any service. This is different from the previous petitions witnessed, and that is the access to the service, albeit it is supervised access. And this is going to be something that would perhaps show more transparency, and that would take away any claim of, anything being lost or, hung up in the cloud.
or that it is Itumbi's server. Yes. Remember the idea that he was taking and changing them very fast.
Right.
And I think that it is fair. So what the court did, and you see much of this request is actually why the Raila side won in 2017. They were able to ask for very broad things, and IBC were not able to produce them. They were able to ask for all Form 34As. This time they have not, because they are actually there. They were able to ask, of course, open the server. Remember, they opened the server and the server keeper are still asleep scenario. So this time, of course, remember, from the first night, the portal, there was full invitation to the portal for every other person to get to the portal. And they have been told, okay, you get in there and check the integrity of the digital footprints of these votes. And under supervision, of course, that scrutiny is a little bit limited.
Right.
And then, of course, where I think they also lost is, you cannot just put things in general and tell us you want to recount and you are not specific where. So they picked a few polling stations where it was specific and said, okay, exact, here. But we are not going to go for counties. We are not going to go for regions as you are proposing. Then, of course, there was where they were granted that there was the other Form 34A second booklet. Remember, they were ordered in duplicate, and the agreement for the parties was this other one will be sealed and not used. There is a few places where they were asked, bring those duplicates and let us see that they were not employed or used as the agreement was.
And we'll be getting